Welcome to this week's episode of the Prep Athletics Podcast. I'm Cory Heights, and I'm proud today to have Nemo Maric from the Hoosac School in New York. They've got AAA team, and Nemo is from Serbia, and he talks about growing up the son of a diplomat and playing in different places. And then he talks about Hoosac School, ISA, kind of the differences there. They've got kids from 20 different countries on their team, and just an interesting setup that's like nothing else in the prep school world, where they really try to bring the Euro style into their development. And they send a lot of kids to a lot of different levels of college in the US. And, we talk about his philosophies and stuff. And I think it's going to be a good podcast for you to enjoy. Now, if you're watching, this is Bananas, my puppy. We've had her 2 weeks. I think this is her third podcast. She's rustling around in the background, right? So you might hear a puppy rustling in the background. There was no barking today, but she has now joined Maple as the Prep Athletics mascot. And the daughters wanted her, but when they're at school and dad's home all day, Bananas is hanging out in the Prep Athletics office and studio, running around, causing havoc. So I don't know. I guess I greenlit this decision. But anyway, this is Bananas. If you're watching, she's a part of the team, and she will be maturing and hopefully being potty trained sooner than later. And so that's what's going on here. Yes, be sure to go to YouTube and subscribe to our channel. That's where we got a lot of bonus content coming up. Don't miss out on that, and enjoy our conversation with Hoosac School coach Nemo Maric here in the Prep Athletics Podcast. Right, Bananas? Right. Welcome to the Prep Athletics Podcast. This is Cory Heights.
Some battles. I'm not sure if they got us. If they did, maybe.
So you will get better as a player during that year.
So it was kind of exciting. Like, oh yeah, somebody wants me.
Nemo, welcome to the podcast.
Good to be here.
Yeah. So tell me, where did you grow up, and how did you get into basketball?
Oof, a long story. I grew up in Serbia. I was born in Cyprus. My dad was a diplomat, and so we kind of traveled a bit. Lived in Serbia, Belgium, and then back to Serbia. Started training. My parents saw that I had too much energy, so they told me, "You have to do some sport. We can't handle it anymore." So I started doing basketball and fell in love with it. I was like 10. Went to Canada after. Again, my dad being a diplomat, played high school and college there. After that, I came back, played Euro basketball for I think it was like 13 years or so. Played professional in mostly Eastern Europe. And after that, a friend of mine opened up an academy in the States, and he invited me to, maybe help him out or do some work. They got in a partnership with Hoosac, and the past 4 years I've been a coach here.
Awesome.
So basically that's how I became a coach. Yeah.
Perfect. What college you go to in Canada?
Centennial College. It's a small college, but I was one of those high school kids that, if it's not a D1 offer, I don't hear a D2 offer. Back in the days, information was not traveling as fast as it is now. I didn't have many people to mentor me as far as to make a good decision. I don't regret it, because the coach I had there, Gerard Kalsa, is, one of the biggest influences in my life for sure. A person I really enjoy speaking to, enjoy being coached by, and definitely taught me a lot, not only about basketball, just like life in general. And it ended up being a good decision. Yeah.
Awesome. Now, tell me about Hoosac and ISA. I know I need to get caught up on how this is, but break down how you explain to people what you've got going on there.
Okay, so basically, International Sports Academy, or ISA, is in partnership with Hoosac. It's almost like let's say like a sports dormitory for Hoosac. So we have about 45 international players that live in ISA, and we take them to school, and from school there they have a gym where they can practice and play all day long between themselves, and get better. So this year we even upgraded to they have a weightlifting area where they can do strength and conditioning. A lot of these kids come from different backgrounds, so from European to South America to Asia. There's, I think, like almost 20 different nationalities in one roof. So it's really nice to see, them bonding and getting, speaking the most common language, which is basketball, and see all these different cultures mash up and get better and push each other and so on. And obviously they go to Hoosac School, which, all the academics is there and all the prestige that Hoosac offers is there. So it's kind of a mix of both, well, let's say best of both worlds. There's a lot of basketball for them to play and to work with themselves and also to go to a really good school.
Gotcha. So if I understand this correctly, ISA is like a sports academy with kids from 20 different countries, and Hoosac issues the visas. You do the academics there.
Yep.
And Hoosac, do they have their own teams as well that are separate from ISA as far as basketball?
No, the kids that go to ISA mostly are Hoosac. They play for Hoosac too.
Okay. So when you put on a jersey, the ISA kids, it's a Hoosac jersey, not an ISA jersey. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And how many
Yeah,
teams?
we did play some events. I mean, our kids played some events and used the ISA jersey, which is usually off season, but that's something else.
All right. And you guys are in how many teams do you have there at Hoosac?
We have 3 teams. We have a AAA, AA, and a single A team, usually kind of divided by age.
Gotcha.
So mostly AAA is oldest guys, prep guys, playing the best leagues and so on.
Now, with kids from 20 different countries, Nemo, how do you work the food situation?
The food situation is the easiest one.
Really?
Communication one could be a little bit hard. I remember one year we had, I was a AAA coach. It was 2 years ago. And we had a really good team. That year we beat Putnam and I don't know, some teams that are highly ranked. And I was really hard on those guys. Guys, you don't talk enough on the court. Your communication sucks, blah, blah, blah. And a couple of days after, I'm sitting at home and thinking, why? How can I make them talk better? So I'm looking at my team and it's like 11 different nationalities. I said, okay, maybe I'm expecting a little too much, but the food, Hoosac has some really good food. They offer amazing variety. So I think everybody finds a way, to eat what they really like.
Perfect. Yeah, Igor is a former coach at Lee Academy, and he said his team would never understand him until February. He had kids
Yeah.
all over the place. So
That's also something. Yeah, for sure.
Now, walk me through this. When players are looking at your program, what do you do to get them better development-wise?
I think we kind of offer, I will say, best of both worlds. In a way, that's the way I try to describe it. Maybe it's a bit too simple, but that's the way really I see it, and that's the philosophy I try to kind of push through our program. Europe has a specific way of kind of playing. So obviously, whenever we speak about Eurobasket, we see the structure, we see the teamwork, we see the passing game, and so on. So kids who are kind of raised in that way, they tend to really understand space. They tend to understand time and screens and all of that. But sometimes they lack a bit of individual flair, the individual creativity. Let's call it that way. While in the States, what I've seen in many teams, now again, it's a stereotype because I've seen some schools that do an amazing job, especially in the AAA NEPSAC, like they're really good coaching. But the tendency here is more kind of individualistic. So players are really good playing one-on-one. They can create their own shot. They understand how to do it. They understand how to play, how to be accountable on defensive end, one-on-one. But sometimes you see a lack of teamwork. You see a lack of structure. And what we try to do is kind of incorporate both of them. So where you get to, if you make 2 threes in a row, you get to that Steph Curry step side 25-footer. But again, there is a team accountability. So we try to kind of raise them through both, where they understand what they need to do. And the coaches here are European. Mostly, we had some American coaches in the past years. Mostly, it's coaches with European backgrounds, and it comes out of us. I cannot be what like so. We try to do it both, and I played basketball for many years, so I kind of know also what it takes to go from the high school to college, from college to pro, and we try to push them in that way.
Do you think college coaches, in your conversation with them, like getting players that are kind of brought up through the European system, or do they prefer a blend, or do they prefer the U.S. style? Like, what are you seeing in the feedback you're getting?
I think it's also depending on what the coach's philosophy is at the particular college. But most of the coaches, they appreciate the European strategic part, let's call it that way. there is every coach I speak with, there is a standard as far as athleticism goes. So all of them tell me players need to run, they have to move their feet, they need to be tough, and it's a standard that needs to, and it's anywhere in the world you go like that. Like if you want to play a pro level in Europe, let's say a lower pro level um, in Europe, you need some kind of, let's say, athletic standard. And the higher you go, the higher the standard to the NBA, obviously, where's the most athletic guy. So I think college demands that, but they also now more and more, especially in the last few years, I see that more and more the tendency is to go towards the European kind of. I don't want to use the word like smart players because there's a bunch of smart players here, but that kind of like team smart oriented guys. So I see it more. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Do players need to play multiple sports when they come there?
Yeah, the NEPSAC rules require to be strict, and players do multiple sports. I believe that players until they reach, I don't know, let's say an age of 14. I think there's even a study done in Europe regarding that until you reach the age of 14, it's a good advice to do multiple sports, just because your body develops better, your mind develops, you understand, spacing more, you understand timing and so on. So I think it's really good for players as they get, let's say 14, 15, they should already start to kind of be a little more specific. I always say to all my players, find a hobby, also find a sport that you enjoy doing, just because it's healthy to get your mind out of it a little bit. I see many players, young players especially, they they only want to focus on basketball, and they put too much stress, too much, like unnecessary stress on themselves, like if they underperform. And I think having that hobby sport, like Steph Curry has golf, or I think it's very beneficial, especially in the mental aspect of the game.
Yeah, I've seen that study too, where it's good to play up until 14, which is freshman year, because those sports are going to only help you as a basketball player. Right?
Exactly. The better you develop the understanding of, every sport, like every sport adds like a sports IQ to it, and the more sports IQ are combined, the better we'll be, even for the specific sport. So I've seen, like in Europe, many coaches ask me, like from NCAA, when they come and say, how Europe is the development, is the training different? I say, yeah, there is a bit of a different philosophy, but everybody in Europe played soccer growing up, like
right.
80, 90%. And in soccer, it's not so much a one-on-one game. It's like it's a passing game. And if you understand the passing game and you go on the court, most likely you're gonna catch it kind of quick where you need to move. So I think that's also a big part, and that's why it's advisable to do multiple sports.
How do you find your players?
Well, we're European. I played professional basketball for, like I said, 13 years. I have a lot of contacts in Europe. The owner of the ISA, or the academy, played pro basketball for also 10 plus years. So we have a lot of contacts in Europe, and it's just kind of natural that we get a lot of guys from there. We speak with many agencies that find players, and it's kind of, we go from there. So some guys here in the States, we also ask, well, I don't know, a program like Putnam, how do you get those guys? Where do you dig them? Or New Hampton, or those guys that they have better contacts here. We have a little bit better contacts in Europe, and I think it's a good platform for European guys too, because I think even for coaches who want to get European guys, I think getting to see them play here helps their decision.
And then the kids that are coming over, I'm assuming they want to play college ball in the U.S. versus staying in the club system in Europe. And why would they want to come play in the U.S.? Like, is that still a goal of a lot of European players or foreign players?
Yeah, I think 95% of them, the goal is to play college ball. I mean,
okay.
I think it's, college in the U.S. is it's very beneficial because it allows you to do both, to kind of get a diploma, get a, let's call it a backup plan or something like that, to get something that you can lean on as your life goes on, and you get to play basketball at a high level with really high level conditions. And it's a very unique setup where you play with guys your age. Okay, now with college pushing the age limit the way it's pushing, but generally you play with your age. When you go to club ball, unless you know you're Luka Doncic and you're 18, you can play top level EuroLeague. But most of these kids, they're in a pro team, but they're like 10th, 11th, 12th of the bench. They need time to develop. College, you kind of get a chance after, a year. If you're, something, let's say a year or two, you already have an impact. You're playing, you're living with guys your age. So I think it's a really unique setup. And now, especially with NIL money being thrown around the way it's been thrown around, it's obviously even more attractive. But even before that, I used to say like kids are a bit spoiled. They speak about NIL money, but they take it for granted, free education, free, all of it. So I think it's a very good road to take for all young athletes.
What do you say to families that ask you about playing time?
That's a good question. We try to give everyone a chance. We really do. Here, I think there have been games where, let's say, I think it was a couple of years ago, we beat a team that was ranked top 3 in the country. I can't remember exactly now whether it was Newman or St. Thomas More or Vermont. They're really high ranked, and we beat them. And then after a couple of days, we had a game. I can't remember who. I don't want to throw out names, but it really happened. And the next game we played, guys didn't play that much in the game that we won, and because we want to give them a chance, we want to prove yourself, have a chance. So coaches ask us, oh, but how, you're not ranked, I don't know, top 20 in the country. You're ranked like 30th or 40th or something like that. And I said, well, we give everyone a chance. So there's games that we, maybe we would have won. I'm not saying we would beat. I don't want to be arrogant like that, but we try to give everyone a chance. And, if they underperform, well, we can't. So the parents that ask us, we tell them that for sure they'll get some playing time. They will get a chance. If they don't do well, they don't deserve it. If they don't have good grades, they don't practice. This is something that we try to also push. So we try to keep it like fair play for all. Everybody has a chance. But again, if you don't perform, if you don't come to practice, if you don't work hard, if you don't have good grades, you don't get to play. So, and even when all is said and done, that's not enough.
I know.
Sometimes we have some of those. But
do you know a story I like to tell? I sent a kid to Navy prep a while ago, and they only have like 6 or 7 recruited athletes, and then the rest of the kids in the team are like lacrosse players or football players. Yeah. And he would call me up exhausted, saying he's playing too much. Right. So no one's ever happy, right?
Yeah. That's how it is. Yeah. I mean, I understand it. Like every kid has a dream. Every kid wants to succeed, and parents being parents, they want the best for their kids. Sometimes, it happens that the kid doesn't tell the parents the true story. So we had parents call me before, hey, why is, my kid not playing 2 games in a row already? And I say, well, did your kid tell you that he was in detention 2 days in a row? Did your kid tell you that, he was not, living by the rules that we make them live? He didn't tell me that. Well, he's saying the coach doesn't like me. No, you broke a rule. I have to punish you. It's not, nobody's here to I don't want to punish you, but if you do the wrong things, you don't get to play. So we kind of also go by that. And sometimes, kids tend to be manipulators. I mean, I have a 3-year-old daughter, and she's already manipulating me on a daily basis. So, once they get to like 15, 16, 17, the stories they tell and the stories we see don't often match.
Correct. That's yes. That's going to be what coaches say from the beginning of time to the end of time. It's just part of it. So
for young athletes, one thing that I say also to all of them, even when we interview them and we speak with their parents, every problem that you have, come talk to me first.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not happy with the playing time, come talk to me. I will tell you what you need to do. Like if I don't know, the light bulb went off in the night, you can't change it. Talk to me. Don't talk to your parents, because everything that's said to the parents tends to be amplified by the time it comes full circle to me. And okay, that's one part where I don't want to sound like I'm protecting myself, but also the more important part is the moment you start to solve your own problems is the moment you kind of become a bit more mature. You become, from boy to man in a way. And I think if you always lean on your parents to solve your problems, you tend to be a kid. And if you solve your own problems and you kind of take responsibility and accountability for your actions, and, it's the moment you start to mature. And I think that's something that I try to encourage them as much as I can.
Yeah, love that. Yep, that's exactly what I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
What, Nemo, is your college placement strategy at Hoosac?
So we have open gyms in the first couple of months, September, October, where kids play, and we try to bring as many coaches as we can. So they have a really good exposure when it comes to our program. A couple of years ago, we had, I think, all together, like, I don't know, the coaches that came to our gym with the coaches that came to our games and showcases. They had over 100 coaches, 100 different schools that checked them out. And we try to bring from Division 1, Division 2, Division 3, JUCOs. Like, we try to, show it all. And that way, I know kids could be a bit delusional thinking they're a much higher level than they are. So we try to bring all the schools, like, so they can see them. And it's up to them. Like, once a coach is in a gym, I cannot, shoot the three for him. I cannot dunk for him. Like, he's got to do the right things. He's got to, perform well and show good attitude. I think this is like some of the things that every coach likes to see. And then it's up to them. Then if that doesn't work out, if they don't get the kind of the attention, we try to also speak with various agents that help us with this, with various agencies that do college placement. And we also try to call as many people as we can. And we try to find, I think 90% of our kids, they had some kind of, I don't want to say offer, but they had some kind of scholarship or financial aid given to them by the time they were done.
Awesome.
So you know how it is. Some schools, they don't want to say scholarship, they like to say financial aid. Well, we kind of know what it is. And we try to, give, so every kid that's been in this program had at least 2-3 options after to go to a school where they had some, whether it's a 50% or full ride, whatever.
Got it. Now, you're unique in that you guys play AAA, AA, single A, right? So you're seeing the differences in each. What are the benefits of playing in each class?
I think, like for our single A team, now it's not necessarily compete in a single A class. They're just called single A. It's young kids that basically live under the same roof with the older guys. And those younger kids, they can see what it takes. Like, they really see the young guys, how dedicated they are, how focused they are in the gym, how focused they are in school. Because, like I mentioned before, we try to keep them like all A's and B's. Like, if you have a C, you don't practice, you don't play, and things like that. And we don't let them use the gym if they have a C, and so on. So we had teams where oftentimes the single A have the most kids with grade problems. AAA is rarely anybody with problems with their grades. Like, everybody's serious about it. Like, they know why they're there. And for young kids to see it, and you can see the first year they might be a bit less disciplined, but as they go, they see what it's about. So I think that's one huge benefit for the kids alone. For us, obviously, for me, the biggest benefit is to see the growth. Like, you see a kid that comes in at 15, leaves at 18, 19, or something like that. Let's say if we're fortunate enough to see him for 3 or 4 years, and to see the growth is, for me, the biggest benefit. To see him kind of come in as a kid, and then leave as this young adult who's kind of taking life in his own hands, and it's a huge benefit. I don't know if I answered the question. I don't know if that was the direction you wanted me to go to, but that's the way I see it. Yeah.
Well, you've got some people that aren't in the AAA that say it doesn't matter, but you play in the AAA with your top team, and like, what are the benefits of being in AAA in your opinion?
No, I think the AAA league, of all the leagues that I've seen, is for sure one of the best conferences in the States. When I even compare it to Europe, it's a top level teams, the top level coaches. All the stereotypes kind of go away when people say, "Oh, in the States they're run and gun, play the AAA," and you see it's not like that. Like, coaches really know their stuff. They're really some fun X's and O's, fun battles I had in the past years. I don't want to name any names, but I really mean it. Like, every coach that's there, every team that's there, brings their own stuff, and they're really good. Like in the past years, I mean, I don't want to name. If I name names, I'll leave someone out. I don't want to do it, but I really believe that. Like I don't want to just sweet talk the AAA. I think it's a great league. I think uh, every player that's recruited that goes to a Division One after the AAA has a really high chance of playing in the college. You know, because they already know, they're already educated basketball wise on a high level. So seeing that and seeing where we need to be and how consistent we need to be, and you know, you cannot allow one bad game. Like you really have to try every game if you want to make it. The home courts, the traveling, like all of that is I think it's a really good conference. And last, let's say 5 years, the national championship when it happened, national prep championship, like out of 16 teams, 4 or 5 are from NEPSAC AAA.
Yeah.
Out of final 8, 4 or 5 are NEPSAC AAA. You know, usually in the last 4, there's 2 NEPSAC AAA teams. I mean, it speaks enough. And also, you know, and then the other teams, let's say like Putnam, that are not in the NEPSAC AAA, but you know, we play with them and they're from this area. Like, you know, usually we have like 10 teams out of 16 are from New England, and it's to be in such a high competition. It's like you don't need to tell the players work harder. They need to, like, they see who they're going up against, and usually playing against such a high level, it like competition breeds how does that quality, right? Is that how the saying goes, or something like that? Competition makes you be better. Like it's just your natural adaptation. Like you have to do it. You don't want to accept losing. You know, it's human nature. You play better because you play with better teams. I will say it like that. So I think that's the huge benefit for the kids, and so that's the benefit for the kids as far as developing. And then the second thing, you know, if it's such a good conference, it brings a lot of attention from college coaches.
Right.
So now you get the best of both worlds. You develop and you get you showcasing the exposure. Exposure is the golden word that people like to use nowadays. But you get both of that, and it's I think it's really good for the kid. Like it's a huge benefit.
Yeah, thanks for sharing your opinion on that. That's good stuff. Tell me this: what does it take to play guard at the D1 level?
Low turnovers, for sure. I think that's number one. Low turnovers, good decision making. I will not speak about the athletic ability because it has to be high, especially if you're 6 foot or under, like, you know, but you have to be able to stay in front of your man, and you're going against the most athletic guys in the country. So like you really need to know your stuff, like defensively, efficient, efficient with the ball. I will even say for the guards that like to go inside and like penetrate, they really need to be friendly with the glass. Like they need to know how to use the glass, because all the layups they get, even in the high school, the easy layups they get, it's gone in college. So you need to know how to play around the glass. So I would say I'm putting a lot of things here. It's I'm making an NBA player, but if I would have to choose, the priority is good attitude, low turnovers, and low turnovers, and know how to kick out. Know how to kick out. Like a lot of players get away with not kicking out the ball and scoring because, you know, there's not a 7-footer, athletic 7-footer who can stop you, or the paint doesn't collapse the way it does. If you don't know how to kick it out, once you get to the like one step under the free throw line area, if you don't know how to kick out and find the right pass, you're gonna have a hard time in college.
I love it. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Lastly, what do you see as the future of prep school basketball?
Future. I think prep school right now is in a good direction as far as like it really helps the athletes prepare. It gives them this additional year that it's much needed, a lot more needed now than it was, due to all the transfer portals, everything that's going on. One, let's go out of the box, wild prediction, but it's something that I spoke with some coaches that it was my idea. I don't know, like not, I don't want to take it like mine, but I spoke with them about this. I think if the NIL keeps going in the direction that it's going, so if it's not a bubble that is going to burst, like if it keeps going, that let's say the SEC has the most money, and like few schools have this like $1 million money. I think some schools will start having their own like sister colleges. So let's say like a Duke will have a low major school where they can recruit from, like something like that. If you understand my point.
Yeah.
And then they have a sister college, sister prep schools, like a little web of schools where they develop. And so let's say if there's a system that you do in Duke, that system is done in a low major school.
Right.
That system is done in multiple prep schools, from, let's say, one is in New England, one is in Ohio, one is in whatever, and then you recruit from your system. Like you basically prepare the players from, 17. So once they get to Duke, if they get to Duke, they're plug-in players. Like you don't need to waste time on explaining what your concepts are. It's just done. And I think that was my wild. It's way out of the box, but I think it could be a route that if there is more money, if the money keeps going the way it is, it's going to look more like a professional league. I mean, it already does, but it's going to be more of a professional league, more, you need players who can come in and plug in immediately. And, maybe we'll see contracts in NCAA. So kind of NCAA will dictate whatever happens next with the prep. But I think that would be something that could be interesting for many schools to be part of.
I like that. I like that outside the box thinking, Nemo. So
yeah.
All right,
I had to go somewhere there. Yeah,
we're gonna do some quick hitters now.
Okay.
Who's the best player you ever played against?
Best player I ever played against. So I played a long time ago, so I have to dig deep. I scrimmaged and played against Marko Jaric, NBA player.
Yeah,
really good. Played with some really good guys in Serbia. I'd say Marko Jaric is probably the one-on-one check. We were both point guards, and he was really tough to play against. But let's say when I played pro, one player that was really tough was LeVar Seals. He played at DePaul University. We played against each other in Romania. We played together in Romania. He was really good. I really enjoyed competing with him, and he enjoyed even more playing with him.
Okay. How about the best player you've coached against in prep school?
DeMarco Jackson, South Kent.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Did I say his name right? Yeah.
Yep.
He was a computer. I think many good players, but he would see everything. Whatever I threw at him, he saw it. Like he was reading he gets to the paint. There was no mistake. Like he was a computer. I think he was one of the best point guards for sure that I coached against.
Okay.
And Luka Taus, I think from Newman, I really, really enjoyed that kid. I hope he has both of them. I hope to have a good career. For Jackson to recover from his injury, but both of them are really, really good. I mean, and there's a bunch, like really in NEPSAC there's a bunch, but those two guys I think are kind of stand out the most.
Okay. What's your favorite movie of all time?
Ooh, favorite movie of all time. I would have to go with a Stanley Kubrick. He's my favorite director. I love all of his movies. I will give you Full Metal Jacket for sure, being one of them. Barry Lyndon being also one of them. Let's stick with those two.
Okay, that's a first for those two movies. So
yeah,
all right.
Yeah, I used to watch movies a lot. I have a few friends who went into like schools to be like directors, and they influenced me. My older brother also influenced me. So yeah, anything from Stanley Kubrick is golden. So.
Okay, and any hobbies you do when you're not at the basketball court?
I used to play the guitar a little bit, but I can't consider that my hobby. What's a hobby of mine? I have a bunch of things that I like to do. I have a bunch of things. I cannot choose one. I spend time with the family, work out, and that's it. Movies, I guess.
Okay.
Movies was for a while. It was movies. Now maybe more music.
Okay, perfect. And is there anything you want to talk about that I didn't bring up during this podcast?
No, I guess we kind of covered it all. I guess we covered it all.
And how can people, if people are interested in learning more and want to reach out to you, what's the best way I mean, we're going to put that stuff in the show notes, but where can people find you?
ISA.Hoosac on Instagram. That's the best way to reach out to us. We are pretty, we try to respond pretty quickly, and from then on, we'll connect you to any coach. We'll, you know, like we have guys who will call anyone and then speak with them and introduce them to the program. I think that's one of the best ways.
Perfect. Sounds good. Well, Nemo, thank you so much for joining the podcast here today. Wish you the best of luck this season. Look forward to working with you in the future. All right.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me, and it was a pleasure. It's my first podcast, so I hope it's gonna come out well.
And you did great. And if you guys enjoyed this one, be sure to subscribe on all the major podcasting platforms. You can subscribe on the YouTube channel and go to our website, prepathletics.com, to sign up for our newsletter and reach out to us if you have any questions. That noise is our puppy Bananas, who was pretty good in this podcast. If you're not watching it right now, you won't see her, but thankfully she kept a little bit quiet after being here 2 weeks. And thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you next time on the Prep Athletics podcast. Take care.